In 1863, in Kyoto, there was a famous restaurant called Shiranuya. The two dashy and handsome boys enter this restaurant. One boy is Soji, and the other one is Hijikata. Everyone is so excited to see such a beautiful pair of friends, but they are Sigma, so they ignore it and give their order. A little young lady served them an order. Soji smiled at this, but Hijikata made a face because he was unlike any kid. The kid feels a little strange at this. After this, another boy with white hair gives them their dango order. Soji is a little shocked to see his hairstyle, but he likes it and thinks of getting it next. This boy cannot focus on this because he hears that some kidnappers are roaming in the city, and they are after the young kids. After all, they eat their food. Soji thanks them for this amazing service. He asks about their name. The boy mentions his name is Neo and the young kid's name is Iroha. They like these lovely names. Hijikata is not interested in this, so he gave the bill. Neo told him there were also many things on their menu as he noticed he could not properly eat the sweet dagon. He appreciates his cleverness and moves out. Neo and Iroha are happy about this. But the other members of the restaurant told them these two were very scary. These are the people who are called Miburo. They belong to the group Rashigumi who come to guard the shogun and never go back. They also advise them to be careful because they will also rob their shop. The kids are scared about this. The granny and owner of the restaurant told them this was time to leave, and they all left. At night our homies thought that Miburo was not going to be so scary. They do not feel bad about themselves. Iroha is so confused about this, so Neo tells her to do what her heart says, and not believe these rumors. He agrees and they are going to like them as big brothers. The next day Soji and Hijikata again come to the restaurant. The granny gives them their food. Our homies are playing. They saw them and asked the granny if these two kids were siblings. But the granny mentions there is no blood relationship between them as Iroha's parents died when she was born, and Neo is the one who left at the temple. He is the one who takes them with him. And now they have been living together for about 10 years and there is a stronger relationship between them as siblings. The boys agree with it and mention that Neo is a great help factor because he is so clever and sharp. The granny agrees with it and mentions that this boy is going to handle this restaurant in the next few years. He also does not worry about Iroha because a noble family wants to adopt her. They are happy because this is a very good thing and also appreciate the granny as he treats them very well. At night our homie is present last order and going back home. Neo told her he was very happy because now a great family is going to adopt her. Iroha shows worries about him, but he mentions there is no need to be worried, he is the one who is going to handle this restaurant and support their granny. They are talking when suddenly Neo notices something and he senses the danger. He takes her to a place and makes the lamp off, but they cannot hide because of the brightness of the moon. Some kidnappers with black outfits come there. Neo takes Iroha back to him. One kidnapper pushed him, and he fell. They are going to take Iroha with them, but Soji and Hijikata come there to help them. They are going to beat the kidnappers. They did it very professionally. They ask them about their place, but they cannot say anything. Hijikata is going to kill one, but Neo stops and mentions this boy is not guilty at all. This boy was bullied by these kidnappers. The boy also told them he did this because the kidnappers were threatening him with his daughter. He gives them all the information about the kidnappers and their place. Hijikata told them to go back and that they were going to find the kidnappers. The next day the granny also comes to know about all this. He thanks the boy for saving his kids. The boys told them the kidnappers were going to hell, and all the kids were safe now. Iroha hugs them on this because she is so happy. Neo serves tea and goes back. Hijikata asks him to join their group because he is so clever and sharp. He does not say anything, so they understand and go back. But he stops them and mentions they are using them as bait. Is it true? They replied yes, because without this it required a lot of time. Neo got mad about this because all that happened yesterday scared them a lot and they did not feel easy to come at night. They feel bad and mention they are making this place good for them so one day they will be comfortable back. Neo gets out of control and mentions everyone is using them. Are they dogs? People use them for their purpose and then kick them out. He told them their life is also worth it. If they die yesterday, then what will happen? These boys are not going to answer anyone because they are orphans. He mentions he hates this world because always in this world kids are used for any purpose because they are the weakest. They are always targets for any attack, rape and kill the case. Why is this happening to kids? Everyone gets emotional about this. He also cried on this and mentioned he wanted to become a strong person and change this world. Hijikata hugs him and mentions he will do this one day. Now he is going to say bye to his sister and granny, and going with them. They welcome him and he joins the Miburo. Now they are taking him to their residence. They told him this was a place that was very famous as people called it the place where demons live. Our boy is a little worried about this. He is wandering there. When he saw some boys are do wrestling, He is scared because he does not see any fight ever. They also notice him. They ask who he is and why he is wandering here. He is so sacred. But Soji relaxes him and introduces him to everyone. They shout at them because they do not want any new members. They invite him to wrestle. He has to wrestle with Hajime. Hajime does not agree with this, but he said he is ready. Now they are in the wrestling ring. They both do very well and the game ends in a tie. Neo asks for another round. At the same time, Kondo comes there and mentions how wrestling without him is possible. He comes and attacks them. He beat everyone. Neo is shocked to see his power. Another boy came and told him to take him in his leadership. Neo is shocked to see because he has 10 arms. But after that, he comes to know he is a fool because this is the arm of his companion which is behind him. Kondo beat them all one by one because he did not like this attitude. He just believes in himself like he is a pro. He pushes all of them. Neo found it interesting and also went there. But he beat him and made him fly into the sky. Now they all are wrestling when they go to Sanjo Bridge. As they have to leave for a mission, Hijikata also asks Neo to join him. And he agrees to this. They all are informed that this time they have to fight against a sinful priest who has done wrong things for about a year. Now he is getting non-stop, so they have to make him go to hell. Neo thought this world was so cruel and what was going on in this world right now. Neo asks Hijikata why people do wrong things. Why are they so selfish and thoughts just about themselves? He asks if they are going to kill the priest or leave him for any punishment. Hijikata said tonight they are going for this mission so he will check it by himself. Neo agrees with it. Now they are at the mission place. As they entered, Hijiki killed the first person who was a guard. Neo is disturbed by this. They move inside and finally get the main target priest. The priest and Hijikata are in front of each other. Hijikata warns him to not do bad things and to get on the right path. Priest ignores this. He mentions he gets money by smuggling women and wine. And money is the thing that is so important to him. So, is he stupid who left it and went on the so-called right path? Hijikata gets mad and goes to attack him. He kills him and the blood is spread everywhere, even on Neo. Neo is traumatized by this. They are going back home to make him take a bath. At night everyone is sleeping but Neo is still awake. Hijikata also joins him and asks why he is not sleeping and what is troubling him. He mentions that he is okay that the priest will have to die because he does bad things, but why did he do all this? He mentions this world has too many double faces as he finds it difficult to know what is right and what is wrong. He mentions this is the thing that troubles him. What will happen if he kills someone like him who wants to save the world, but he takes him wrong? He mentions he has multiple thoughts like he wants to become like them, but not now how. Hijikata suggests not being worried and making rules that he never breaks and also makes an idea of justice, then everything will go smoothly. And then there will be no regret for him of any death. He is sleeping but Neo still overthinks and comes to know that there is a faint smell of blood, and he has to make up his mind to live there. The next day he has to go on patrol with Kondo. He is a little nervous and introduces himself to Kondo. Kondo replies rudely and goes away. They are in the market and notice everyone. Neo also helps them. They are left for their first target and going to find him. They are running to capture him. Neo also joined them. He found it a little hard but doing it. Kondo orders them to split and search for the target. Neo is doing work when he says the little girl is crying. He does not want to help her because this is a time of mission, but he cannot control his feelings and is going to help her. He comforts her and hugs her. He relaxed her, gave her the sandal back, and told her to go back home. He is busy in it when Target finds him and going to attack. He turns side with a girl for saving. Hijikata goes behind the target and kills him. The little girl is going back to her house. Neo apologizes because he ignores the order and helps a girl. He mentions that he doesn't bear to see someone crying. He told them about his dark trauma as his parents were also murdered, and then he went to the temple where they told him to hold back tears and just smile. That's why he cannot cry in his life, but that makes his life miserable because he needs someone with whom he can just cry, nothing else. He mentions he also wants to cry when he leaves his house and comes there, but he cannot do this. So, this is his dream, to make a world where children can easily do what they want, where there are no forces for a smile. He again apologizes as he gets too emotional. Kondo hugs and mentions in today's task he got full marks because he saved a girl, and that's a good thing. Neo gets so much hope in his eyes. The next morning Neo is cleaning the house and thinks now he remembers everyone, and they are all going to be familiar with him. At the same time, he saw a little kid which he did not see anywhere. He asks him about himself. This kid introduced himself as Tanaka Taro, who is 13 years old. Neo is talking with him when Hijikata comes here and mentions Tanaka, the first wolf from Tokyo, but advises him to not talk more with him. Tanaka is also getting busy with his work, and he cannot understand what is going on. He ignored it, and after some time, he again saw him cutting the woods. He is going to help him and teach him about this. He was going to do more, but Tanaka stopped him. Neo is still worried about his cold behavior, so he starts talking with him. He asks why he joined the Miburo. He replies that he does not have any place to live. Neo again gets shut up, but he still does not give up and mentions he joined it because he wants to make the world a better place. Tanaka ignored it and moved out. Soji comes there and teases him that he is going to tell Hijikata about this. Neo told him to not do this. He will never talk with him again. Soji mentioned that Hijikata told him all this because he was worried about him. Neo is still too confused. Soji asks if he wants to be friends with Tanaka. Neo asks what friendship is called, and what is this relationship. He smiles on this and grabs his hand. He told him to shut down his eyes and go with him. He did it rightly. He asks where they are going. Soji replied they were going to the river for fishing. Neo cannot believe this but is still going with him. He opens his eyes, and they are still in the house. Neo asks what this is. He replied this is what friendship is called, like believing in your friend like you are blind. Neo understands this. At night Neo comes to know that Tanaka's teacher Sarazawa killed the team member Tanoichi. Neo cannot believe how a person can kill his fellows. Sarazawa told Tanaka to clean up the murder scene. Neo thought he refused because he was an innocent soul, but he agreed. Neo is traumatized by this and goes back to him. Hijikata tries to stop but he ignores and reaches at the murderer's side. He looks at the dead body with so much pain in his eyes. He prays for it. Tanaka ignores all this and starts killing the dead body. Neo is disturbed by this and stopping him like this is a crazy act. Tanaka mentions this is important because this is just a piece of meat and for him to be drawn into the river it's necessary. Neo gets out of control and mentions that this body is just living before some time he has no heart. Like how could he do all this? He mentioned this person has a soul and it is important. Tanaka called it total madness and asked if the souls were real and then where they were. He called him stupid and mentioned he was living his life with so many difficulties. He even has to do multiple jobs to serve his life. Now if he does not do this job to handle these corpses he will not live. So please leave him to focus on his work. Neo is so traumatized by how difficult this little boy's life is. On the other hand, Hijikata and Soji check Neo's letter and come to know that this boy is a crying baby. He controls his feelings and wants to change the world. Neo cannot understand what to do so he starts dancing. Tanaka found it very crazy and weird. Neo told him to not be worried and to leave everything to him. Today he is going to handle this corpse. They both hold the crop and take it near the river. Drop it in the river. The next day everyone got this news as near the river they found a sword with blood. Sarazawa comes to know this is all done by Neo. He called him and asked him about this, but instead of answering, he asks him why he kills his team member. Just tell him why. What was the reason behind this? He is just drunk and kills him. Sarazawa gets mad about this. He grips his neck. Neo frees himself and mentions he knows the reason behind this. Sarazawa asks what this is. He looks into his eyes and replies he did all this because Tanoichi is the traitor who plans to sell out Miburo and he did all this to save Miburo. He mentioned even though he knew Hijikata looked through Tanoichi things for him but could not find anything. Sarazawa laughed and mentioned not to get over smart. He apologized and went to leave but mentioned that if he did this in anger and fun, this is not okay and left. Tanaka also came with him and mentioned that this was so wrong. Please control yourself because they will kill him for this behavior. But Neo is so chilled. He cannot take it seriously. He set a bonfire and prayed for the killed one. Tanaka also joined him. Neo grabbed his hand and told him to close his eyes. They both move into the compound and laugh. This is how Neo gets his first friend in his life. Now comment on what will happen next. Do you like this story? Please subscribe to our channel for more content.